Welcome to today's Community Compass conversation. I'm Nicole Smokovich, the Executive Director of the Community Foundation of Kankakee River Valley, and today we are meeting with Sarah Winkle, who is the Project Director of Project Sun. Welcome, Sarah.
Oh, thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
Great. So, why don't you just tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came to join the Project Sun team?
Well, I've been a part of this community for a little bit over 20 years. I actually grew up in Clifton, Illinois, so
So, you're local.
I'm pretty local.
Yeah.
When you come from a small town, this is where we come to for all of the fun
Right.
things. So I started at the Bourbonnais Township Park District and was there for about 20 years. Recreation and park admin is my background. So really invested in the community, especially being at a park district, and worked with a lot of organizations, a lot of committees, and feel strongly about being invested in the community that I live in. So an opportunity at Project Sun did come up, and it just seemed like a really good fit. And so here I am, year and a half later.
Yeah, wow. It doesn't even seem like that long.
Yeah,
But it's been a great year.
it has been a really good year.
Yeah. Now, your predecessor is Deb Barron.
Yes, yes, she is.
Yeah, yeah, and I'm just so glad that we were able to get you in when we did, finding out that Deb was going to be retiring.
Mm-hmm.
And just for context, Project Sun is part of the Community Foundation. It's an initiative through the Community Foundation, and so when we heard that you were out looking,
Mm-hmm.
um, I was so glad that we were able to just snag you up, and it worked out.
Yeah, I think
So
there were other things at play also. It really just has been a great fit,
yeah,
I think, for everybody. So,
yeah,
yeah, Deb's got some pretty big shoes to fill, but she's not far away. So,
right, yeah, because she's still involved. She's
yes.
still helping. And why don't we talk a little bit more about Project Sun and what the mission is and what exactly Project Sun is?
Well, that is always kind of a difficult question to answer because Project Sun really does so much. A huge part of what we do is really convening groups together. We focus on um, enhancing the behavioral health system for children under the ages 21 and under. So we want to bridge the gaps. If there's a problem, we do try to solve that. And a lot of doing that is bringing organizations together. We can't do it all on our own. From what I understand in this world, a lot of people worked in silos, and so we're trying to make sure that we can get these organizations to work together so we can have a better system of care for our youth, which then includes the families as a whole. So
Right, and
it
that's an important piece of Project Sun
Mhm.
is the family voice. Can you
Yes.
speak to that?
Yeah. Parents who are going through these difficult times, especially when you see your child, there's concerns about their mental health. And a lot of times when they're trying to start out, what do I do? Even as, the first question that they ask. And um, people don't understand sometimes these families are in just survival mode and they're trying to figure it out. So with some of what we do, we have peer parents who've been there. They've experienced this before, and it's not just people who um, maybe have the education, but they really don't have the personal experience of what it feels like to watch your child and not know what to do. So we try to help them through that system, whether it's connecting them with a parent who's been there to help them through the process. We help figure out service providers who might have availability to just maybe going to the schools with them for an IEP meeting, letting them know what their rights are, helping them feel empowered. We do training for parents to make sure that they are their child's advocate and how do they do that confidently and
Mm-hmm.
properly. Um, and it really just puts the parents in the driver's seat of their child's care. So we do have a great group of people that, like I said, have been there, and some of them are still there, but they are helping other parents get through this as
Yeah,
well.
yeah, and they're
So
actually part of a parent advisory council. Is that
yes,
right?
yes, we have a parent
Yeah.
advisory council. We do educational trainings as well. Um, And like I said, really just trying to get the parents to understand their rights so they can fight for their child. And sometimes that's even taking care of the parent and letting them know that they have to take care of themselves too in
Right.
order to be
Yeah.
able to do that. So
Yeah.
we do some trainings and would like to see parents be on certain boards so that the boards in our communities have a parent voice. Parent voices, it needs to be heard in a lot of these organizations.
Right. So, what are some of, I know that you don't do direct mental health services, but what are some of the other things that you do in the community that helps parents and children with their mental health?
Well, as I mentioned before, our Parent Advisory Council does do some trainings for parents. We are hoping to start up our parent cafes again, which would bring the parents together. We have some other programs with some prevention type things for, we call it Play to Connect, where parents can learn how to engage with their child. It brings in the 4 pillars of TheraPlay, so it gives them the opportunity to learn how to engage, how to nurture, how to structure their lives, and then how to challenge their children as well.
Yeah.
Hoping that by having these experiences with their children at a younger age, as they grow up, there might be less chance of more concerning behavior or even some mental health concerns.
Yeah.
Um,
Because it's kind of funny, when you have kids, they always say, well, they don't come with a handbook
no,
or a guidebook.
no, they don't.
And thankfully, we have this program called TheraPlay in our
Mm-hmm.
community that's helping parents understand how to interact with their child,
Yes.
to have that one-on-one communication with them and
And
help
in the
them grow.
classrooms as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
it's definitely the Sunshine Circle training, or the Sunshine Circle program is being done in classrooms throughout the county and in other organizations like churches, and some of the therapist offices are using it. So um, that's an exciting program that we have spread throughout.
That's great. Are there any other services, I'll say, that Project Sun offers?
We actually do have just started um, our category. We're focused more on the Spanish speaking families as well, and CAP is the new, um, we don't have an official group of parents yet who are a part of it, but it is our parent advisory council for the Spanish speaking families. We have quite a bit of interest, and we're working on that now, building that program, building that group, and it is a much needed area. So we are happy that we are really getting some interested families, and those families have been there too. So now we have the opportunity to help other families in that community.
Yeah, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite part about working with Project Sun?
I think a lot of it is really just learning so much and being infused in this county where you see all these amazing things happening. I've heard it throughout the different organizations because I do sit in a lot of groups because we're trying to get everyone to work together. So I need to understand what each organization is about and what everyone has going on. And there are some really incredible things happening here. And you do hear a lot of the negatives, and I feel like the positives in our area just far outweigh the negative that you hear about Kankakee County. And just watching these organizations really all try to work together to do what's best, and to know that I live here, my family lives here.
Right.
So we're going to benefit from it as well. And it's really great to see all these organizations fighting for the same thing, and coming together. So
Yeah, that's great. Um, do you have a story or two that you could share, how the organization has made an impact in our community?
oh boy, you know, I don't know that I have specific stories, but we have talked because Project Sun is part of it's initially started as a grant funded program. And to just hear back from the beginning of when Project Sun started, and to know where we are at now, when I go into meetings and going represent Project Sun, we are always at the table as far as helping work through these problems. And we sit on all of these committees to help to take action. And I feel like we really made our place here, that we are considered a group that's going to make a difference.
Right.
So Um,
And the grant funding is actually going to end here in a couple of years, right?
yes,
And
yeah,
I think it's really exciting that Project Sun is becoming their own 501c3
yes,
nonprofit.
yep. We are in the process of that right now.
Yeah,
So it's what's next. It's what's in our future is to be
it's how to keep it here in
self-sustaining. Yeah.
Kankakee, and expanding, am I correct, into Iroquois County?
Our hope is to be in Iroquois County and also across all ages.
Wonderful.
So yeah.
That's great. What are some current needs of your organization?
Well, we could always use help for some of the events and things that we are at. We do try to get out in the community and let them know that we're here educating people on what we do. And we are a very small team. So it'd be really nice to have some more advocates for Project Sun, but also just letting people know that we exist. And when you are at your meetings, if people need something, if they have concerns about their family's mental health, they can reach out to us. We will do our best to help them through the system. Um, you know, every group loves finances, needs a
Right.
little extra money, but our focus really is getting the word out about Project Sun. And volunteers are always nice when we have events and need assistance. Coming to mind, those are the biggest things.
Yeah, it's always important for those nonprofits to have advocates
Mm-hmm.
for their mission,
Yeah.
to help carry it forward and to spread the word into the community, to let them know what the needs are and that there are people here ready to help.
Mm-hmm.
So that's great. Well, is there anything else you'd like us to know about Project Sun before we leave here today?
Just I didn't mention earlier about the Can I Help?
Oh,
Can I Help
absolutely.
in 211? We do try to make sure that everyone has some kind of access to the resources in our community because there are a lot. We have a database called Can I Help, and it's canihelp.org where you can get on there and see most of the human resources available in Kankakee and Iroquois County. And then 211 is through the United Way, but we also partner with them, and that's the phone version of Can I Help, so you can get your resources.
Yeah, because there are people out there that may not be as computer savvy
Mm-hmm.
as others. And so having that phone version is very important.
But I think the biggest piece is just letting people know that you're not alone. There are people here to help you. There's organizations here to help you. And we want to do that. Don't ever want anyone to feel like they're in this alone. So there's people who have been there and felt exactly what someone might be feeling. And we want to help them through that process. So that's why we're here.
That's great.
Mhm.
Sarah, thank you so much for being here today.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. And that's our latest edition of Community Compass. I hope you have a wonderful day.